Yeah, I signed a lot of the permits for Dark Winds, and they showed me one that I was concerned about to approve it. It was a shooting scene, and they used like these. It's weird how it works that where they were connected, where it would they would be shooting, the gun would look like it's working, and then there was a semi truck trailer that was behind where the shooting scene was, and it was like popping, like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
rounds were missing.
yeah,
And they were showing me that, and I was like, I don't know, that's kind of scary because everybody around here is going to think there's a shootout in the middle of Santa Fe.
yeah.
Well, I approved the permit, and I just did all my internal releases to all the cops saying, "Hey, we're having this. It's not real, so don't go
Don't
running and
worry."
shoot anybody." The Lost Bus is out now, and I want to see that because I played a CHP officer, and I did a lot of the precision driving.
The Lost Bus.
Yeah, the one with Matthew McConaughey about the Paradise Fires in 2018. It's in theaters right now. It's got America, whatever her last name is.
Ferrera.
Yeah, America Ferrera is the teacher, and he's the bus driver. Matthew McConaughey.
Never even heard of it.
I was close. I was closer to him than me and you are right now.
Nice.
That was pretty. You can't interact with him. He's a method actor. So when he's on set, you can't call him Matthew or Matt or McConaughey. His character's name was Kevin, and so you had to refer to him as Kevin.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Even on the radios, when the director was telling us like how we were going to do in the cars, they'd be like, "Okay, Kevin, you're going to be doing this." And like Kevin, and then he'd be like, "All right, all right."
Shut the fuck up. Did he really do that?
He didn't do all right, but let me show you real quick before I get started. Let's see what
All right.
I want to say I saved.
That's so fucking funny.
Welcome to Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories, a podcast that shines a light on ordinary people and their extraordinary stories. From small towns to big cities, we're sharing the real, raw, and inspiring moments that connect us all. Because every voice matters. Every story counts. This is Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. All right, well, let's get to all right. Welcome back, everybody. It's another Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories episode, and today I've got another old friend of mine back in the studio again for a second recording, but you won't hear the first because I fucked it up. So, as is tradition on this channel, we recorded an episode prior to this, and half the footage got wiped out because cameras and because fuckery. That's why. So, deal with it. We're going to re-record this, and if you stick around to the end of this, I'm going to put some stuff that's worth hearing from our first interview if we don't cover it in this one. So this is going to be a little bit of a long one, but definitely worth the listen. So today, welcome my old best friend Anthony Tapia into the studio. So before we even, welcome to the studio first of all, again. Hi. For the second time.
Hello again.
So before we even get started, I was thinking about something the other day when I was thinking about doing this re-recording, and I was thinking about how you were like so my longest running old best friend is Eric Nussbaum, which I don't know if you've seen him in the first season.
I might have.
Okay. Well, I met him in elementary school in Santa Fe, and we went to elementary and junior high together, and then at the end of junior high, because my mom didn't like Santa Fe High's mascot being the demon, she rezoned me to Capitol, which is how I ended up there. But 99% of my friends went to Santa Fe High, and I was supposed to go to Santa Fe High. So Eric Nussbaum went to Santa Fe High, and we still hung out through my freshman year, but at the end of my freshman year, he moved to Seattle, and we lost touch. There wasn't cell phones and shit back then, so, it wasn't easy. There wasn't any social media, so I couldn't keep tabs with him. Luckily, then you came along, and my new best friend was created, and we spent all the time together. But it was a really weird transition for me because the few friends that I did have in junior high that I moved over to Capitol with, I didn't those friends, like almost immediately, kind of, we all went different ways, and like it wasn't, I don't know, the small world that we grew up in. It was like this whole big school, and now everybody had their own little cliques that they hung out with, and we didn't really even talk much anymore, which was so weird. So like I felt very alone and abandoned in that point, and then met you. And I'm gonna let you share how we met because I still like
You don't remember?
I mean I remember what you said, but I can't remember seeing it happen like in my head.
It was gym class freshman year that we first met and started hanging out, and I think we bonded over. We were made fun of for our chicken legs.
Yeah, tall, lanky white
The
guys.
tall, skinny guys.
Yeah,
And I remember a couple people picking on us, saying that strong gust would blow us over or
yeah,
break our legs.
and
So we bonded over that.
yeah, and that was good. And I will say I kind of screwed myself into a lot more being picked on, but I would say in a playful way. Gained so many nicknames in high school because of the shenanigans that I did. I wore a vest to school one day because I thought it would be cool and different and
It was
fucking.
picture day.
Was it?
It was picture day.
No, I wore a vest for picture day too, but this is before picture day.
I wore a
I was
vest.
swearing it was picture day because I have that yearbook with that picture.
No, I do too. No, and I did wear a vest on that day, but that was like more of a dress up. Like I had a dress shirt under. No, this one was I wore just a regular T-shirt with a vest over it, and so I gained the nickname Woody from like Toy Story Woody. Yeah.
And some people thought it was for a different reason, but we all knew it was because of Toy Story.
Oh, was it though? Yeah, high school was a trip.
Oh, you're blushing.
Yeah. That was like honestly a stupid fucking nickname, but it caught so quickly and took off.
Don't we all get funny nicknames at times?
I had Bones. At one point, they were calling me Bones and Sticks and Woody and Clowny, which that
Clowny. Oh, was that
Tommy
Huh?
Tommy. Um,
Well, I remember we joked about your car being a clown car because the one time at the bowling alley, we tried to see how many people we could fit in
Holy
the car.
shit! We didn't talk about this on the
No,
first episode. That was so funny.
Well, I remembered that when we watched, when you converted the videos, our old VHS,
Yeah.
and you're out working on your
Yes.
Festiva in
Oh
front of my house.
God. Dude, that is so fun. We put like 14 people in the car
Yeah.
in a tiny little Ford Festiva, 1990 Ford Festiva. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It literally is a clown car. We put 14 people in that car.
You do have footage now, so you can do a screenshot.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. This is a Ford Festiva, and then we went to Taco Bell, the drive-thru, and ordered a water.
I don't think I was in the car for that, was I?
If you were part of the shenanigans of loading people and then you were in there, they were like, because we were like, what's the stupidest thing we could go through the Taco Bell drive-thru and order? And I was like, a fucking water. I'm doing it.
Why didn't I have the camcorder for this?
Oh, no, it would have been so good. I don't know how the hell we've got 14 people in there. And then I jumped the Festiva. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Wild.
smart.
No, I wasn't, but it was cool.
Then remember we won a car alarm at
Yes.
Auto Express,
Yes.
and we had them install it in your Festiva.
Yep, I remember. That was interesting because the contest was who can break into their car the fastest
That's right. I couldn't remember
With a-
how we won it.
with a coat hanger.
Yeah.
And the Festiva locks weren't even coat hanger approved, but I had a method.
You removed the cap,
Yes.
so it left the lip. So
Yeah.
when you got through it, just
Yep.
hooked it so easy.
Yep. And I think I did it in like 30 seconds or something like that. That was pretty cool. There was other shenanigans that we discussed on the first one, and you told a really good story, and I'll lead this off, but I want you to tell your version of the story because it's so much better than what I remember. I don't remember it, but the party on our vice principal's land.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
Oh, troublemakers.
we were looking for a party spot one night, and we were friends with the vice principal's son, and he said, "Yeah, let's go to my property. We got this new property we're gonna build a house on, and nobody's gonna be out there. It's in the middle of nowhere. We can party all night, and we'll never get caught." So cool, yeah, we did. There was a bunch of cars and a bunch of people, and I remember we had a bonfire in the arroyo on that property.
Yep, it was a hidden arroyo, and it was a good place for a bonfire
Yeah, it was
until
great until our friend, hopefully I can get him on the podcast one of these days, but he decided it would be a great idea to throw a can of hairspray into the fire, a pressurized can of hairspray into the fire, and that thing went off like a mortar. It was loud and big.
but it wasn't right away.
Yeah, yeah.
He came, he threw it in. Everybody ran away. Nothing happened, so people came back to the bonfire just in time for the fire to work, and boom!
Yeah, that was wild.
It was this huge explosion,
Yeah.
but no one left.
Yeah, it was like, "You fucking idiot, Marcos, why'd you do that?" And then nothing.
Until about 20 minutes later, the sheriff's department shows up.
Yeah. Now my perspective of this part was not very funny or very entertaining, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way real quick. So what I did was I took off running into the woods across the arroyo, kind of thinking that I'm gonna just go hide behind some trees or something. And there was a sheriff running behind us, and me and a couple other people, I don't remember, but they kept running, and the sheriff was like, "Stop, stop, stop!" And I was like, "Oh, fuck! He already saw me. I'm fucked." So
Well,
I stopped. I could have kept going. He had to still climb the other side of the hill to get to us, and I was already way off in the distance. And I could have kept going. And I was like, "Nope, I'm just gonna go turn myself in."
you're getting ahead of yourself on the story. If you remember, earlier in the evening, someone showed up with a flashlight and shined it towards the crowd.
I don't remember that.
They said something like, "Don't move," or something. And everybody got scared thinking the cops were there. This was before the explosion.
Right.
So when the police actually did show up in the sheriff's department and they said, "Nobody move or you're under arrest," the crowd turned towards the sheriff's deputies thinking it was
Yes,
someone
I
messing
remember
around
this.
again, saying, "Oh, fuck you,
Yeah.
whatever, come get a beer." And then all of a sudden, a deputy jumps down into the arroyo in full uniform, and
Yep.
we realized it was real.
Yep.
And everybody scattered like cockroaches.
Yeah, that was wild.
And I'll let you finish your story before I get into mine.
Well, yeah, so long story short, I ran off into the woods. I could have gotten away. I could have just kept running, and I was so far ahead of that sheriff, but I was like, "Oh, he probably already saw me, and if he saw me, I'm fucked." I didn't know how this shit worked. I thought, "Oh, he saw what my face looked like. I'm fucked. I can't get away now." So I just turned around and walked towards him. And luckily, I was I won't go into the details. I was a weirdo at that party to begin with. I was not feeling great about my confidence level. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't fit in at first, so I wasn't really participating. I didn't drink at that party, fortunately. But they lined us all up and did breathalyzers after they caught us, and was like, Marcos is like, he can drive my car home, but they wouldn't let me because I didn't have my license, even though I was not drinking. Anyway, that was my perspective. It was not fun or funny. It was stupid.
I got away, but
Anthony got away. Let's talk about that.
but I didn't fully get away. But I did. So yeah, when that happened, the deputies out there, and I start running, and I realize I'm being chased by a very large, heavy-set deputy.
Do me a favor, pull the mic a little closer to you. There, that'll work.
So I was being chased by a very large, heavy-set deputy. Me being, as we established, me being a little string bean guy. I knew I could outrun him, so I take off running, and I come up to a very high embankment of the river, and I just Spider-Man my way out of it and got out. But I didn't stop running. I kept running, and as it turned out, in that area there were horse stables. And so I'm running pitch black, and I kept hearing movement. So I thought the deputy was still chasing me. So I kept running running from side to side, and thinking I was being chased. I was running so fast, I hit a barbed wire fence. Hit it, flipped, turned over, got the scar across my elbow here. So it cut up my elbow, cut my legs, my pants. And mind you, this was late 90s, so this was the NSYNC era. I was wearing my bright white pants with a leather jacket.
Hold on, you said in sync era. Like that's what you were dressed as.
So my white pants, leather jacket. So the white pants were standing out, but now I had blood gushing out of my arm because barbed wire fence ripped me open. And my pants were starting to turn red, blood getting all over. So the only way I thought that I could get away was I scaled a tree, climbed as high as I could into a tree, wrapped my white pants and my legs in the leather jacket so no one saw the white pants up in the tree, and I hid for hours. And I watched the parents coming, picking up their kids and leaving. The deputies were there, lights on. They were coming just as they'd come and pick up the kids, all the kids getting in trouble. And finally, the last cars left. And so I waited, and my vehicle was there. So I had to sneak to my vehicle and leave, thinking that they were going to have a tow truck come and get it. But I got away. Hours and hours later, I got away.
It's so wild, dude.
I'm just glad, I have a teenage son and a second son that's coming up to age there. I am happy that this generation doesn't seem to be as bored as we were.
Bro,
go
which is
and
so weird.
do the crazy nonsense we would do.
And that's really weird because you would think that, I don't know, that I feel like things have shut down. That used to be entertainment for us, and there's not as many options out there. And for that matter, I feel like the younger generation they don't care about it. They don't care about partying. They don't care about driving for that. I've met several kids who are like, I don't care about a car. I'm like, what?
They are so connected to the world now with their little device, the
That's
cell
so
phones.
weird.
Us, we connected with our friends on the cruise line. We'd go get in the car and we'd drive up and down West Alameda and Santa Fe
That's a good.
and just say what's up to people by the cars. We'd go cruise up and down the main roads and drag race and
hang out in parking lots.
Yeah, parking lots, find stables to go have bonfires in. And now, these kids, they don't really go anywhere.
That's so wild. And by the way, the end of that story is I got taken home by my vice principal because they couldn't wake my dad up. And yeah, he didn't really seem to care, all said and done. But fucking what happened was somebody saw the bonfire and just thought it was a fire, a wildfire. And so they called the cops.
Which that wasn't the only time that happened to us. I don't know if you were at the other one.
Which one?
The one way out where the MRCs are now, the big golf course.
I was not there. Tell me.
There was another one out there where it was deep out off of 599. So there's the airport out there.
Yes.
And so we had a big bonfire out there, again in the county. And an airplane was coming into the Santa Fe airport. And they saw the bonfire and they thought there was a fire.
Oh, fuck.
So they called in the coordinates and they sent deputies out there again. This time I didn't run.
You didn't want any more road rash?
Didn't want any more injuries. But that one, I don't believe I was partaking in the partying at that one. But the deputies showed up at that one. Large, huge bonfire. I mean, this is all we had to do back in the
100%.
late 90s. So the deputies get there and they were super cool.
Oh, yeah?
Super cool deputies. I don't think anybody got in trouble that time.
No kidding.
All they cared about is putting the fire out. And so they're like, we're not leaving till the fire's out, so figure it out. So everybody's taking their beers and pouring their beers on the fire, trying to put out. But this was a big bonfire. And it went to where we're out of beer. So dudes just started standing around and peeing on the fire. And eventually we got the fire out and they let us go home. But
Holy shit, dude.
But that was another exciting
Dude, I can't tell you how many of those
endeavor.
Can't tell you how many of those that I made it out of. Fortunately, just a whole different generation, man.
Yeah,
whole different.
The things that my friends got me into,
Which is
how I went down the career path that I had.
Which, yeah, that's a great talking point. Is in high school, you already had your career path set. It was in your mind. You knew what you were gonna do. People talked shit to you.
At 16.
People made fun of you. One dude wanted to fight you. I remember, just because of your career path that you chose. And what's really, really funny about that is the contradiction of those people after you actually became an officer. Then they were like, "Oh, that's my best friend, Anthony Tapia."
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody knew my name.
Is it though? That's your best friend? That's the guy that you wanted to fight in high school because you wanted to be a cop. That's your best friend? Like, wild. And we'll get to that. Um, I wanted to touch on a point that we lost a lot of the people that we went to high school with over the years, and you had interactions, and we don't have to get into specifics about it, but you had interactions with some of those people's in their end of their life, right? Like, you came on scenes where it was people that we knew.
Oh yeah, yeah. I through my career, I had arrested people that we went to high school with.
You arrested a friend of mine.
I've, been privy to information of people who went to school with their passing
That was
tragedy,
good. Yeah.
and also I've been on scene where people that were superstars in high school and they went down the path of drug and alcohol
that's
abuse.
awful.
And where they had a bright future, they destroyed their life. And, always, and of course, I don't want to call out any of these people, but one specific person was a top athlete, friends with everybody. She got involved in drugs, and late in my career before I retired, I was on scene one where she was in a very abusive relationship and
Oh God.
heavy opiate use. I hope she's doing well now, but it's unfortunate. You see, to where we did stupid things, but we made it out.
we didn't do that kind of stupid.
No, not even close.
We did stupid kid shit, and that's not to say that we didn't take some risk and could have been one of those statistics.
Yes.
We did do some. I went a little further than you did, even because I went down the weed path as a young man, and that we all know that's a gateway, whether people want to admit it or not. But I feel like the gate is only open if you choose. You do have to have some sort of strong will and just say no. Like, that's a thing.
Addiction is a tough thing. Addiction can really destroy a person's life, and not everybody can be affected by it, but everybody has been affected by it because they know someone.
Yeah. And that's not to say that all these people that we lost from our graduating class, even, or that we went to school with, got into drug use. There was accidents. There was
Suicide.
Just a lot of suicides.
Suicide.
Multiple.
Yes.
Oh, damn! I did not know. I know of one of them, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's wild. So yeah, that's a really odd thing for you to have to, like, in my opinion, that's a really odd thing for you to have to go through. Like, knowing these people, knowing what they were and what they could have been, and then seeing them at one of their lowest points, if not their lowest point.
It's sad, it's hard, but it makes you thankful for where you're at in life. And it makes you appreciate that you made it out. I mean, anything could have changed. I mean, we were out and wild sometimes, and not too bad. I mean, we weren't too bad. At the time, I think we were pretty mellow compared to most people
100%.
of the time.
Listen, like, if we went out drinking together, I remember several times where you let me go belligerent and you would, like, tone it down and just take it easy. So yeah, you had a beer, but you didn't get drunk, and you were our driver home.
I was the party mom.
And other times where I did the same, if not for you, if for others, like, where I would be like, okay, well, I will not drink tonight.
And we were good with Marcos, as we talked about. A lot of times it was at his house.
Yeah.
and it was a safe environment to where we didn't let people leave.
No. If you were there for the party, you were there for the night. You
Yeah,
weren't.
you didn't
You can
leave.
go home in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't allow that because we didn't want
That's weird.
things to happen.
Having responsibility as at our age, doing this stupid shit that we were doing, like
Well, I was more afraid of getting in trouble with my
same.
parents.
Oh, it wasn't for me. It was with the parents. I didn't want to go to jail. That was my be all end all of
And
fears.
I mean, at 16, I became a police explorer because I wanted to get into law enforcement. And it was also that is I didn't want to ruin my future before it started. So yes, I made some stupid decisions where I felt I was in a safe environment, but I realized that, maybe that wasn't the right path for me, so I mellowed out.
Okay, well, I want to go down this and explore this, but real quick, I want you to tell me the story. And I don't know if you remember it, but one of my friends who has passed on since, really unfortunate, he had a heart attack, I believe, while swimming in the ocean in Texas and sort of drowned, went brain dead. They got him out of the water, but he had no brain activity, so he ended up passing on. But you you arrested him um, because he handed you an ounce of weed. Do you
Remind me
remember
this.
it?
Who is this? Oh,
Edgar.
Edgar. I don't know.
Edgar Guerrero.
I had a 20
So
plus
he had
year.
a white Audi, and I don't know how you guys ended up at his house, but he was, oh, I think he was drunk driving or something and wrecked his car, and like the car was all trashed or something like that. And then you went and asked him like if he had anything to drink or whatever, and he handed you a bag of weed.
Hmm.
And I remember you calling him like, that guy's a fucking idiot.
Hmm.
I
I
guess
don't.
he left his bumper at the scene of the hit and run.
I don't know. There were so many. I mean, I did.
Okay.
I was a crash reconstructionist for many years, a
This
crash
was long before
investigator.
that. This was like early in your career. It is what it is.
Yeah, there's so many stories. It'll probably come to me later, but I
Sure.
honestly don't remember. But I mean, that wasn't the first time something like that happened.
It was the first time that somebody I knew did some dumb shit and like made it even worse by handing an officer a bag of weed. Mind you, weed was not legal. It was not even medical back then.
Not at that time. Um, there was a lot of times that just people did stupid things that got him caught, and but in all honesty, if he wouldn't have handed it, I mean, he was already in
Right.
that
No, he
situation.
was already
I
going to
was gonna
jail.
find it anyways.
Yeah.
Honesty with law enforcement is actually the best
Oh no, I know it
option.
goes a long way. Like it got me out of a couple
Yeah.
situations a couple times. So
Yeah, in my career, with certain things, if they were honest, I would give people a break.
yeah.
Um, I know things are different now in law enforcement with body cams and all that.
Oh right.
Um, an officer would get in so much trouble if they took someone's, well, now it's legal, but at the time marijuana was illegal. So there were many times someone just had a pipe on them, and I knew it had more effect to just have the person take it out of their pocket and break it themselves rather than charging them with a petty misdemeanor possession of a weed pipe. And I felt like that went a long way because you give someone a chance, and for something small like that, no one wants to ruin their life because of something petty,
Right.
and it could really affect someone long term.
Well, let's stop there for a second because later in life you had a different perspective on it, but it was a be all end all for you when
Yes.
you were starting. That was a whole, that was a
Well,
really detrimental thing to you.
yes, no, I refused to be near it because
It's not
I,
that, but you also like let's call it what it is. You were very judgmental about people who
yes,
smoked weed. You
I
looked
was.
down on them, and you were like, "Oh, you're a fucking loser." Like you were very judgmental about it.
Okay, now in my old age,
Now in your old age, and now
fin-
that it's legal.
finishing that career, looking back, I mean, my job was to enforce the law.
Of course. I'm
And
not judging you for it.
in that time, I mean, I was young. I mean, I
And
didn't have all the life
well,
experience,
but also
but
this brought up a question for me. Like as your career went on, did you find places, I don't want to say with the law or in the law, but places that you felt you could be lenient and still enforce the law?
Oh yeah, yeah,
So like something that was really important at the beginning of your career, towards the end of your career, you're like, that is fucking stupid and a waste of time.
yeah. I mean, it's the term that we used was voluntary compliance. Is having a law or someone knowing that they're or pointing out that they're doing something that's against the law,
Hmm.
letting them correct their own behavior. That's voluntary compliance, and I think that that goes a lot further.
But let's
And
be clear though, like
but there's certain things that you
I'm
can't
gonna
do.
honestly tell you, I broke many a pipe because the officer let me go. It didn't stop me from smoking weed. It didn't stop me from driving around smoking weed.
Yes, but how were you getting those pipes? You were paying for them, right?
Of course.
And so it was punitive. So you had to
Okay,
go buy
that's
another
fair.
pipe if you wanted to continue.
Right.
It prevented you from smoking the next 15 minutes at least.
Yeah, that's true.
If
Well, I was a responsible weed head my entire career. I never spent more than $20 on weed. My entire 12 years smoking, that I spent $20. The rest of the time I worked for it. I did not ever let it interfere with my bills. I paid for my pipes out of my own pocket. Like weed did not interfere with my life. They were two different worlds, and I kept them that way the entire time I smoked.
well, it's enjoy responsibly, as beer can say. If you can do that, if you can have your cocktail after work,
Yeah,
and it doesn't affect you,
yeah,
and you're
yeah,
not loading up on it every night.
100%.
If you're not stealing or using to the point where you're making really bad decisions,
Yeah,
there's a difference.
yeah, I agree,
Now
100%,
there are substances out there that's not an option.
100%.
Yeah, so that's why I'm through my career as they legalized marijuana. I'd already experienced seeing trauma created by substances.
Sure,
Alcohol is terrible. It has the potential of destroying lives.
I couldn't agree more.
Weed can, THC cannabis can, but that's for the people that only want to do that all day, every day, and
Right, and
not
have
make anything
no
out of their life.
ambition, and yeah,
Now, when you talk about opiates, fentanyl, heroin,
yeah, that's a whole nother
crack
world.
cocaine, methamphetamine,
All of
those
that.
are things that I'm sure there's people that have experimented with it and then never touched it again. But in my experience, if people that got into opiates and methamphetamine, their lives their life changed. They went downhill.
Oh, 100%. I've seen it
Opiate
firsthand
is
many times.
so addictive.
And I will say I never experimented. Okay, I did try pills once or twice, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Don't like it. I tried coke 2 or 3 times, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Don't like it. I got drunk several times, and I was like, this is not my thing. But weed was my thing. I could fully function. I was in control. I lived my best life and was still getting high. So that was my thing. I stayed away from all drugs and alcohol for the most part because of weed. So I'm a big proponent of that, but I totally agree with you about the other drugs because many people in friends groups of mine and later in life, other newer friends groups, a lot of them aren't with us anymore. A lot of them are in jail. A lot of them went down the wrong path. Dude, one of the kids from my mariachi group was arrested in Santa Fe, I don't know, last year for like one of the biggest fentanyl busts ever in New Mexico. And I'm like,
Wow,
yeah, bro, he had like $1 million worth of fentanyl or something like that.
that's insane.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
kid, I remember when I was running the Pep Boys in Santa Fe, he came in and stole a battery from us.
Oh, you told me about that.
Fucking,
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah, it's bad. With opiates, you will steal from your grandmother
that's
to cover your
horrible.
addiction. You don't care about anything but your next fix. And there were times when Narcan came up, and we were all carrying Narcan. We would have someone who is dying, having an overdose. We'd give them their fentanyl or their Narcan hits. Did I say fentanyl first?
No, you said Narcan.
Okay, yeah, Narcan. Getting ahead of myself. So we'd give them their Narcan hits. They'd wake up and want to fight us because
Right,
we
because you,
ruined their high.
yep.
It's like you were dead. Like, we just saved your life.
Yeah, but I was high as fuck.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's terrible. And then the lives, like, but they have this ambition to find their next fix. Imagine if they put that effort
Into something positive.
something positive,
Yeah,
and not
100%.
drug use.
Oh, I know. I agree.
And because someone's got addicted doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Sure.
I through my career, I was involved in, at the time we called it the LEAD program. It was called the law enforcement diversion program, or I forget what it's. Hold on, let me think.
You're missing an A there, bud.
No, the law enforcement assisted diversion. There you go. So hold on, I'm going to do that again so you can edit that.
I'm not going to edit it.
You better edit it. I know where you live.
Go ahead.
No, so I was involved in what we call LEAD. It was the law enforcement assisted diversion program. And it was to where if someone was addicted to opiates, we'd bring them in. We'd provide assistance. If they were arrested, in lieu of filing charges, we'd get them into treatment. We'd get them into programs. So I did that for a while. And I saw that, there were some great people that just got hooked on drugs, surrounded by families that really cared for them, and friends and family that loved them and helped them. And I helped through that to get people on the right track. But what I learned is that addiction is a terrible thing.
Yeah. Did you have many or any success stories?
There were some success stories. What I, in my tenure of doing that program, what I realized is the success stories were the voluntary attendees, the ones that came and said, my life's fallen apart, I need help. And they asked for help.
Yeah.
Those were more of the success stories.
I believe it.
It was very rare. And this was my heartache with this program, is the program was meant to force people into treatment because they were committing crimes. That didn't fix anything.
And it never will. I will say firsthand, when the choice is I want to quit versus they're making me quit, you're going to go right back to it.
And that's what happened 99% of the time.
I did it for years with cigarettes.
You catch someone shoplifting, you catch someone committing a burglary, and you say, hey, we can take you to jail, or you can go to this program. Of course, they're going to agree to go to the program. And what's going to happen? They're either not going to show up, and then now we got to follow up, get a warrant for their arrest, or they show up once, they check that box that they attended. We got to hold our end of the bargain so we don't file the charges because they showed up once. But guess what we're doing the next day? Arresting them again.
It sounds like that contract needs to be revamped.
We worked on that. Of course, I promoted and moved to different assignments through my career.
Listen, it's a great idea, though. I love where that was at.
It is, and I always felt through this program, I was pushed by the higher ups at that time to force officers to do the diversion in lieu of charges. I never agreed with it. I had more of the push of the officers pointing out the program. You're out there, you know your community, you know the people that are committing crimes. So instead of doing the cell when you're arresting them at Walmart, you see them in their homeless camp. You see them living out of a tent. You see them panhandling, in front of the gas station. You go up to them and say, hey, have you heard of this program? We do. You're not in trouble. You don't have to, but if you ever need help, here's the number.
That's cool. I like that.
That was my push.
Well, that's going from like a state of a fear of choice versus like a vulnerable, I'm in my worst spot here and you're providing a way out, versus fucking bend over and I'm going to spank you, or you can do this. Like, it's two different worlds. So I can see the effect, having a better outcome if you're offering it rather than forcing it.
And that phone did ring.
Nice.
It rang by people saying, I have this card, I need help.
And those are the ones that are actually going to follow through with it. Like I said, when I was ready to quit cigarettes, like it didn't happen until I was like, okay, now I'm ready. I need to do this. For years and years, I was like, yeah, I gotta quit. Yeah, I gotta quit. But I wasn't ready to quit. When I was ready, I was done.
Yeah. And I've always felt, and I tried pushing towards that with what I could, but my career path went a little bit a different road at the end. But I mean, that's always been my feel is we need more programs that are available to people that need it, and less drug courts, less force into it, or else.
Right.
I
I
wish,
agree.
but I've seen that, but I don't have the answer. I don't know how to make that happen.
I don't think anybody does, or else we
Yeah.
wouldn't have pandemics of drug problem.
Yeah.
But on that note, let's take it back and let's go. Let's take back to high school and what initially got you interested in being an officer.
Well, it started in junior high. We had our career day at junior high, and I always wanted to follow a path where I helped others. And initially, I wanted to be a paramedic with the fire department. And so in junior high, they're like, okay, pick what you want to do for your career day. So I said, well, I'm gonna take the fire department paramedic. And so they brought out the fire department, and I spent a day with a paramedic there. And all he kept telling me is, you got to go to a lot of school. There's a lot of schooling for this. Oh,
That's
you
kind of
got
a
to do
dick move,
school.
dude. He's like scaring you out of the.
And he was telling me that. I mean, he was more preparing me for the path ahead. And I hated school. I did not want to go to school. And so I said, okay, well, I don't want to be a paramedic anymore. I'll just be a cop.
Let me stop you there for a second. You said something that triggered something in my head. You hated school. Now, was that because you didn't like school work and the learning side of it, or was that just in general you had a bad experience with school overall?
Well, I had a bad elementary experience.
Whoa, no way. That's
Yeah, I
weird.
had a bad elementary experience. Junior high school, I kind of kept to myself.
Okay.
I did my own thing. But in junior high, I played football, so I was joining sports, and I was starting to be more social.
Okay.
And then in high school, that's when came out of my shell. And
What was it about elementary school that gave you a bad?
well, can't believe I'm going to tell your audience this, but Boy Meets World was a huge show when we were
Loved that
growing up.
show.
Corey Matthews.
Yep. And Topanga.
Yeah. I looked almost identical to Corey Matthews in elementary school.
Holy shit, dude. Until this very moment, as long as I've known you, I never put the two and two together, but I could fucking see it.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I have a picture I will show you following this. I'm not sharing it with your
Yes,
audience.
the fuck you're not. I'm putting it on
I'm
here.
not sharing with your audience, but I will show you a picture.
You have to. You can't do that to
You're
people.
gonna see the Corey Matthews in me.
That's wild.
So I was kind of picked on, and I liked the show, but
But you didn't like
I
being
didn't
called
like
Corey
being
Matthews.
called Corey. And it was so bad that when I got to high school, there were kids that I didn't go to middle school with. That when they saw me, they're like, "Hey, Corey!" I'm like, that's not my name, because everybody
Did
called
they
me
not?
Corey.
Did they really think
They
your name was
truly
Corey?
believed my name was Corey because
Fuck.
I was called Corey Matthews so much in
That's
elementary
crazy.
school. So I've been picked on a little bit, and now that's going to go to the stereotype of, I only became a cop because I was bullied.
Bro, that never would have crossed my mind.
But I know that's what people say. Sometimes like, "Oh, you're only cut because you're bullied." But I wasn't bullied when I
Listen,
made the full decision to take it.
That is a long time to hold a bullying grudge.
Yeah, and I mean, I was doing it because I truly wanted to help people and make my community better.
I only asked about school because school is my favorite. Like I've said it on another podcast, but school is my escape from reality. That's where I got to go and be with my friends because my mom was so strict and overbearing. I didn't get to get out of the house much. So when I got to go to school, I was free. That's where I hung out with my friends. That was my favorite fucking place outside of home. Now I could have also done without the schoolwork, and it's not to say that I wasn't smart enough. I didn't like homework, and that really screwed my grades up, which is a fucking stupid concept.
Yeah, for me, I hated English.
I was really good.
I was terrible at English. I loved science, loved math.
Science was, I think, was my one that I didn't really care for.
but I never felt challenged. And so
That's interesting.
in math, I always would goof around, but I'd always get really good grades.
Same.
And I mean, flash forward to when I went to school to become a crash reconstructionist. You're having to do angles and trigonometry and
Sure.
calculus to figure out all this stuff. And when we were going through the class, they would write a problem on the board. And they're like, okay, by the end of the day, you need to have some solutions to this crash. So they'd be like, car was traveling down this roadway with the drag factor, stickiness of the roadway.
Holy shit.
And it left the roadway at this point, left so many feet of skid marks, and figure it out.
Damn.
And so you use these calculations to figure it out. I was done by the calculation at lunch. And so I'd start being disruptive. Being an adult, if you ever want to see, people goofing off, go to a training class with cops.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. I mean, but so I at the time we were starting to get our tough books for our units, and so I had that, and I taught my computer how to speak. And so what I would do is I'd goof around, and I'd give it a script, and I'd go, I'm gonna hit the bathroom, leave it for a timer, and it'd start talking in class, and everybody, where the hell is that coming from? So the instructor was really good instructor. He keyed in on that, and he was like, "This guy is goofing around," and he is done with the problem at lunchtime. So he started making a side project for me. So I was doing two reconstructions a day. Now, not full reconstructions, but mathematical equations. So,
Wild.
but math was always my thing, and then maybe that's, of course, I'm getting ahead of myself, but maybe that's why I pursued my role as a vehicular homicide investigator, and because it's all math.
Wild.
It's all math on figuring out how a car did what it did.
Okay, real quick. I want to hear your two worst. Your worst accident that you ever investigated or were a part of coming upon or something, and your worst overall police situation.
So there's it's hard when you have a proactive career, and as long as I did, and then you chase the positions like I did of being that type of investigator. There's a lot of tragedy, and when someone dies, it is heartbreaking. And for being that person, that human that's tasked with investigating another human's passing, it's very difficult.
Fuck, that's deep.
Traumatically, I guess the first two that come to mind were both crashes, and there were alcohol involved crashes, so impairment. First one was I was the lead investigator. It was a person who was in town, not from the city, vacationing, got extremely intoxicated. What people don't realize is that in New Mexico, especially Santa Fe, it's a high elevation.
Right.
You're affected by alcohol,
Especially coming from a lower
stronger
elevation.
if you're coming from closer to sea level.
Right.
Those drinks are going to hit you really hard. This person drank the night away, closed down a bar, and then decided they were going to drive to the hotel room, which was in Albuquerque.
Holy shit.
So they left the downtown area, got confused on the highway, ended up going north instead of south, got disoriented, made a U-turn, and started traveling southbound in the northbound lanes. A deputy saw it, turned on the lights, tried pulling the car over. Car decided, I'm not stopping, and was traveling over 100 miles an hour wrong way, I-25, and went head on with another vehicle. And of course, there was two people in the vehicle, and in the wrong way vehicle, and one person in the right way vehicle. And the driver of the wrong way vehicle, the impact was so bad, it destroyed that person's body to where they were everywhere on the highway. The driver of the victim vehicle survived,
Oh, good.
but critical condition, barely survived. The miracle in this case, the passenger in the wrong way driver had nothing but a gash on the head. Spent a couple days in the hospital and was discharged. No problems. But all because of partying and alcohol. And I know we went from talking about us when we were young. And it's weird that a 16, 17-year-old is making better decisions than a full-grown adult.
Well, that was my point exactly. I mean, I don't know any of us that got into any kind of, nobody got into the car that drunk. No, none. I think we all experienced loss, even at that age. Santa Fe is there's a weird dynamic in Santa Fe, and I've talked about this many times that, like I know people from all over the country, all over the world for that matter, and nobody has experienced the amount of loss that I have in close proximity. Friends, family, just from everything. And it's not just attributed to bad decision making or drinking and driving or anything. There's murders, it's so much loss. And it's all centered around Santa Fe. It's fucking wild.
In this case, with this incident, there were so many opportunities to stop making bad choices.
Oh yeah.
The fact that this person was consuming a ton of alcohol, cocktails at a restaurant. The restaurant, at what point did they think,
that's enough?
Maybe I should stop serving this person these drinks? The bartender was charged with over-serving in that case. Then when the person went out to the car, the bouncer actually tried to prevent the person from getting in the car. That's how we got involved.
Oh, no kidding.
Is the bouncer tried preventing the person from getting in the car, and the person refused and ran off, got in their car and drove off. So the bouncer called 911, said there's a drunk driver. So we were already looking for it. Didn't know it made it to the highway, but of course, when the deputy saw it, we were getting calls of near misses. Deputy gets into pursuit, and at that point, I mean, when you're driving down and you're having near misses, and I know you're impaired, you're not thinking about it, could have pulled over, could have not gotten the car, could have pulled over, saw the police car, could have stopped.
Could have realized that you're driving the wrong way when you see headlights coming at you.
Yeah, and because this person never saw another day,
that's so
and
awful.
Destroyed other people's lives.
Oh yeah.
To include the first responders. I was the investigator, so I wasn't first on scene for this case. This was graveyard that went out, and they had to kick in a windshield to pull the critically injured person out. They had to dig the person out. They had to crawl through body parts to save the passenger of that vehicle. And then, of course, you talk about the investigators that got to intimately look into this crash. I was wearing a biohazard suit inspecting the car because there was so much biohazard in there, traumatic for the investigators. So it's just so rough that these decisions, people don't realize that going out and having fun can end in trauma for the rest of someone's life.
And in all reality, you can go out and have fun, and you can continue to have fun in a taxi on the way home.
Yeah, there were plenty of taxis there. Now we got Ubers,
rideshare,
rideshares, friends.
Yeah.
I bet you can think of a friend right now that if you went out for an anniversary dinner and you guys overdrink, you have somebody you can call.
I'd call you. You'd be the only one I know who would understand. They'd be like, "Oh, you're fine." No, I'm just kidding.
But everybody, there's other options, and if I can input a PSA here, don't drink and drive.
100%.
It's if you get hurt, you're gone. You won't know what's happening, but you have friends, family.
Yeah, you leave a trail of devastation.
You have first responders, firefighters, paramedics, law enforcement, record drivers. I mean,
life is short as it is, and you can make it a whole lot shorter by making stupid decisions. So
if you're having fun having a drink, or you're having fun out partying, live to party another day. Don't make those decisions.
Okay, so what was the second one that came to mind?
Second one, another crash that created a lot of trauma. It was another wrong way driver, I-25, intoxicated, versus a young guy in his 20s, just got off of work, heading home, driving home just finish a shift. And here comes this wrong way driver, hit head on. He was alive after the collision. The wrong way driver was not. But he was pinned and his car was on fire.
Oh, fuck.
So we get there on scene. We exhaust, like we all were there. And this was just outside of city jurisdiction. But we're out there, you know, we, law enforcement, when we hear someone needs help, we're not going to stop at a boundary. You know, when I was the graveyard sergeant for this one, and we get the call, and initially they thought it was in the city. And so I send all my resources out there. Let's go. Then they're updating. No, wait, it's in the county. But county's huge. Santa Fe County's huge.
Right.
You could be waiting half an hour for a deputy to
Right.
show up. And I'm like, I don't care. We're going. So I sent everybody out there, and we exhausted every fire extinguisher in the car. Guy was alive. We couldn't get him.
Oh, fuck.
We couldn't save him. Two of us were in the car with him. We broke the seat. Me and this other officer were yanking the seat trying to get him back because, of course, the collision had pinned him, and we didn't know. We didn't know he was pinned. We were doing everything we could to get him out, and explosions start happening, and me and this officer are in the car, and the guy's still alive. And this was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, is to make the decision to get out. I get out, and my officer's still in there, refuses to let this guy die in that car. And it got to the point where we had to wrestle the officer out. It's like, we're not losing you two.
Damn.
And we couldn't save this guy's life. And that was one of the hardest things ever to do. Is, I mean, and my hope is that this victim's family never strolls across this, because I don't know if they know the whole story of what happened, but we tried, and we tried with everything we had.
That is wild.
I've never felt so much intense heat before in my life, being in a burning car trying to save someone. Of course, I did put in that officer for the Medal of Honor, and he was given the Medal of Honor for being in the car trying to help out, you know, because he refused to leave, you know.
That's wild.
When you talk about trauma that officers feel, and it's like, innocent guy, you know, he didn't deserve this, you know. And what we found out later is, through the autopsy, is that even if we got the guy out, he wouldn't have survived. He had a torn aorta, but the way he was pinned, it had sealed it.
Ooh.
And so if he would have extended, the aorta was already torn. His legs were pinned so much that the only way we could have even gotten him out is,
Cut his legs.
yeah. But you do that,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's going to
we
bleed
can't
out
do
anyway.
that. We're not field surgeons.
Right. That's wild.
So those are the two most traumatic crashes that came to mind. I mean, there's so many more.
Well, when you said trauma, like, that brought something else to mind. You were involved in shootings,
Yes.
and those really took a toll on you. I know, because you reached out to me back then after those, and we talked about it. And what is talk about what you can regarding the trauma of an officer involved shooting.
I can tell you that I can't say no officer has ever signed up hoping that they're going to be in a shooting, because there's crazy people out there, sick
Sure.
people out there.
Sure.
But I can tell you, I've never met an officer that hopes they're going to be in a shooting one day.
Right.
If they do, they have no business in law enforcement. And I think most agencies that I've worked along with, and I only worked for one agency, but I did help a lot of other agencies.
Sure.
With building policies and stuff like that. They're good at, if someone has a red flag like that, they won't last long. They get rid of them.
That's good.
You want good officers out there. But no officer signs up for that job hoping they're going to one day be in an officer-involved shooting. But in my case, I was only on for a couple of years. I was so green, rookie officer. And we get a call of, it initially came out as a possible homicide shooting, where it was a neighbor dispute where Guy was shot, of course. And so over the radio, they do what's called a bolo. It's be on the lookout for. And they give the description of the vehicle with the license plate, shooting suspect. And I'm driving down the road, and what do I see driving in front of me? Same description. And you don't think you're going to have the thing directly in front of you and that comes out. I mean, it's your job. And this is pre-computers, so I don't have all the information in front of me.
Sure.
So I key up on the radio, and I'm like, Santa Fe, can you replete that plate of the shooting suspect? And I hate this word out of dispatch. So dispatchers, if you listen to this, don't ever tell a cop this when they need information. They told me, stand by. Negative, Santa Fe. I think I'm behind the suspect. Give me the plate. Stand by. You never want to hear that when you're in a situation like that.
Well, but also they don't want to, I'm sure, give you bad information.
Well, no, I know that, but I guess in me, this is part of with me. This guy had guns.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, and where the story will lead, you'll get why I'm upset at hearing standby.
Okay.
Now, granted, I've talked to the dispatcher and we're good. So finally, they say the plates, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'm behind our shooting suspect. Start sending me units. So we're driving down the road, and comes, of course, in Santa Fe, it's a small, big city. So you work a lot with the surrounding agencies. So as we're coming, and this happened now out of the jurisdiction, the shooting. So here comes the sheriff's department again. My friends, the sheriff's department, you know. I made it for running from them. So they fly by wrong way. Like, Santa Fe, let the SO know they're going the wrong way. You know, I think they were looking for my lights on, but I wasn't going to chase this guy that had guns,
Right.
you know, without backup. So they come around, and here they come, bat out of hell, just flying up. Like, way to be tactical.
Yeah.
You know, so as soon as they start coming up, the guy was like, okay, I'm going to fight now. So pursuit's on. So we get in this big pursuit all over, you know, going down a pretty busy street. He chose his spot. He chose his spot that he wanted to fight. He's running, and then he just stops. So we get out. I'm gonna, show me your hands, show me your hands. All of a sudden, I see a barrel of a gun come out of the window. And then pop, 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 pop. So he starts shooting at me. And so I was forced to fire back. And unfortunately, in this case, he made the decision he made, and I had to react, and I took his life. Something that no officer ever wants to do. And in that moment, I'm like, what just happened? I signed up to become a cop to help people, and here I just hurt somebody. And that was one of the hardest things I ever had to deal with, was taking a life.
I feel like there's a lot of rationalization in that moment, though, because that guy chose to get into that position. That guy chose to... Again, let's go back to your story about the accident, you know, bad choices. There were
Yes.
several choices he could have made that would have made a much better outcome.
True, but he forced my hand.
Right.
And
So that doesn't really fall on you. Like, I can see where your guilt is coming from, but also I can see the other side where that's not on you.
you're right.
It's you or him. It's fight or flight.
You're right, but you know, it's easy to say until you do it.
Oh, 100%, yeah. I really shouldn't be talking.
If you watch someone take their last breath because of something you did, even though I didn't cause it, I reacted to it. And now there were a lot of officers on scene there. I wasn't the only one that fired the weapon. But I contributed to it. And I had the hardest time for many years.
I remember.
I'm still healing, I want to say, from some of the trauma that I've dealt with there. And it wasn't until I was retired for a while that I realized I had a problem. I realized I had some issues during my career, and the agency was great eventually, not at first. I will say that. When these incidents first happen, you're treated terrible, I guess.
How so?
well, I'm trying to think of how best way to form it. When an officer at the time, when I was involved in the shooting, they come and they take my gun away.
Yeah.
That gun saved my life. That was my comfort. And I was surrounded by 50, 100 cops. When they took my gun away, that was the hardest thing for them, like that they could have done. Because I was just in a traumatic shooting and I now didn't have anything to protect myself. And then they put me in the back seat of a state police car, a cage. They put me in the bad guy seat and I'm sitting there in full uniform going, I'm the good guy. I
Oh,
did
that's
what I'm
fucking
supposed
wild.
to do. And now I'm sitting in a cage. I was like, did I do something wrong? And you're just, did I do something wrong?
Damn, that's nuts.
Am I going to be charged? Am I going to go to jail? Am I going to be put on trial? And when you're involved in this, of course, all the positive stuff about the victim comes out, about how great they were, and that you were just a big bad policeman that killed this person because they were out for a Sunday drive.
Oh yeah, is that?
I had in worst thing you can do when you're involved in something in law enforcement is read the blogs, read the comments on the online forums. Worst thing you can do. I had people saying I need to be hung from the plaza
Bro, that's
because I'm a violent police officer. And that I could have shot him in the hand. I could have shot him in the leg. I could have tased him. It's like,
when he's shooting bullets at you,
yeah.
you don't really have a choice.
So it was hard. It was hard to be in something like that. But I've come to terms with it, and I'm
That's wild. That's very reminiscent of people like judging celebrities online. Taylor Swift is a very good example. People got pissed that she was wearing like some $35,000 Cartier at a party or something, right? Cool. Well, guess what? You're complaining about it, but if you had that money, you'd do the same fucking thing. You fucking hypocrite. Like anybody who was in a shooting, if somebody's shooting at them and they have a gun, they're gonna shoot back. It's the same fucking thing. It's just people are so judgmental and they don't. I feel like empathy is very stretched thin these days. Maybe people don't empathize anymore. They don't think about things from somebody else's perspective or point of view. Now, I'm sure that that guy who was firing at you, he knew what he was in for. He knew it was them or you or
I
him.
I truly believe it was suicide by cop. And if he could have taken us out with him, he would have.
Well, that's a big fight.
Yeah.
You against 20 cops, yeah.
He what I learned after is that he was an ex-con. For one, he shouldn't have owned firearms. He shouldn't have been in possession of firearms.
And he certainly shouldn't have shot a neighbor.
No, he shouldn't have shot his neighbor. What we later found out is that the last words he told to his wife is, "Goodbye, I'm not going back to prison."
Yeah,
So
he already had his mind
he
made
made
up.
his choice. And of course, in law enforcement, you don't have all that information.
Right.
I had a bad guy in front of me. My job was to go get. And so I
Right.
was going to
So,
go get the bad guy.
yeah, you're right about those blogs. You need to stay away from that because those are just the trolls.
And so I will say that one thing that I contributed to the agency throughout that is because of my experience. The chief was great. The chief we had at the time, he listened. I went and I talked to him and I said, look, this can't happen again. It's like, you cannot put an officer in the backseat of a police car. So they created a response team. And the armorers were required to have quick access to a replacement handgun. So if your gun, which became evidence because it was involved, got taken away, that armor was there to put a new gun in your holster. So you had your safety mechanism.
That it's that important.
To me, it was. I can't speak for anybody else who was involved in one, but for me, I said that.
Like even though everything was done, said and done, like the cleanup is happening, and you're still concerned about not being protected.
That is an officer's lifeline.
Interesting.
Your weapon is what gets you home every day, and it just proved that it was getting me home.
Sure.
And I needed it to get me home, even though it just sat there on my drive home.
Right.
So that was one part. Another part is officers are not to be put in the police car, not in the back seat. So now you're put in the front seat of a friendly of
Yeah.
your own agency, the union, the response team would come.
That's
They
yeah.
take you to a safe environment. There's no reason for an officer who was just in a shooting that has been stabilized at scene, like the scene has been stabilized. There's no reason for that officer to remain on scene. So now you remove all those officers that were involved and you get them to a safe location,
Sure.
not at scene,
Sure.
because you don't need to stare at all that.
Right.
And so policies were changed, and so things are a lot better now.
Oh, that's good.
And as I came up, we did have officer involved shootings, and I personally was on scene. I would take our larger vehicles if there were multiple people involved, get them all out of there. Like, get in, come on, let's go. We're gonna go to the station, and let everybody else handle it. And it's hard for cops to do because your job is to investigate.
Sure.
And you're pulled away, but it's like, come on, let's go. You know, so we changed a lot of things, get them in a safe location. That way we can properly investigate.
That's cool.
You know, so a lot of things were changed. Things evolve and improve.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
I dug us deep into that one.
sorry.
No, that was my fault. I do want to talk, bro. I think we're gonna have to do a second part to this because there's a lot of stuff that came to mind that didn't come to mind in the first one that we didn't talk about. We're like not even halfway through my bullet points here, but I did want to talk. Like, we haven't even talked about your job history leading up to you being an officer. All we talked about was what made you want to be an officer.
Oh.
And then I dragged you way off the rails. But I did want to talk about the ride along that I went on with you, which you don't seem to remember.
You know, that happens a lot. You know, I've had many people over the years say, "Do you remember when you dealt with me for this?" or "Right along." Yeah, I forget.
That's wild. So yeah, you took me on a ride along. This had been 2010. No, I'm sorry. 2006, 2007. I know it was a little after my brother passed away. And he took me on a ride along. Right as we pull out of the station, the first thing that happens is there's a kid jumping across the back seat of a car. Like jumping literally back and forth in the back seat. And you're like, this fucking idiot. You pulled him over.
The parent, not the kid.
Yeah. No, him too. No, I'm just kidding. So, and then you left the mic on so I could hear what you were talking about. And you were over there telling the guy, you're an idiot, dude. There's just a kid jumping around your back seat. And they're just like, oh, I'm so sorry. You ended up letting them go after they buckled the kid in.
Did I really? Because that was my pet peeve. You sure I didn't cite them?
100%.
You probably convinced me.
I didn't say anything.
Because that was one, kids unrestrained. Unless this was before I was a Vickler homicide investigator.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Okay.
This was long before that. But yeah, so you made him get out of the car and buckle the kid into the safety seat. And then you're like, all right, if I see you out on the road and he's jumping around again, you're going to jail. Cool. So that was that beginning of the shift. And then we went and, there was your regular routine. We went to the gym, played basketball for your lunch break. We, at Fort Marcy, we went to, then we got a call right after that, off West Alameda, and it was Ryan Shea. He rolled his four-wheeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild. We were there for hours. And then we left that scene and we're headed back towards downtown, and we got a call for possible gunshots, which turned out to be fireworks, and that was off St. Francis. And then, we drove around for a little while, didn't see anything, so we were driving up St. Francis, and you got a call for an accident, and it was a DUI, and so you and I were the first ones on the scene, so I was directing traffic for you while you were situating people, and then the guy didn't speak English, the guy who was drunk, and he hit an old couple. Everybody was fine, but so I went and interpreted for you the best I could. And then we went back and did paperwork outside of the jail. Oh, we took that guy to jail. And then, we did the paperwork outside of jail, and then you dropped me off, and it was a fun ride along. Very interesting.
And seeing this is what people don't realize for officers. And it's because sometimes you'll deal with a cop because you get pulled over for not wearing your seatbelt or something. Mm-hmm. You have no idea where they're coming from or where they're going.
Right. There was a lot that happened in one day.
In busy cities, that's every day.
I could imagine. was wild. But no, I had a really fun time. I'm glad I didn't see some fucking horrible shit. Like Ryan wasn't too bad. He wasn't super injured or anything. I think he had a concussion or something like that. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience seeing what you guys go through and
Seemed
deal
like
with.
you went on a mild day.
Yeah, I got to direct traffic. I felt important. Yeah, there's still a lot that we need to talk about. I'm gonna have to call it here because we have a disc golf game to get to. But I'm gonna have to ask you to come back again, do another episode, because we need to talk about the rest of your career outside of just the bullet points.
So this is the crazy kid leading to crazy career.
Yeah, this is just the polar opposites. The irresponsible kid. What did you say the other day about what you were as a teenager? You, I said that I did some shitty shit to you as a kid, and you said I was an quote unquote. Do you remember what you told me?
No, do you?
Yeah, you're like I was an asshole.
Oh, well, yeah, I was. I will admit that,
You're like I was an immature fucking asshole,
Yes.
and I deserved what came to me.
Yes, and that is kind of I was cocky.
Cocky
I
is
was,
another one you
I was
used.
a cocky asshole when I was young. I was humbled fairly quickly in my career,
That's cool.
which is good
Yeah,
because cocky assholes don't survive in that career.
yeah, that's good.
So,
We'll discuss that further later on because I did some awful shit that I felt betrayed our friendship, and I'm not proud of, but I will own up to it. So, but that gives you guys something to look forward to on the part two of Anthony's journey to being an officer, and we have some stories in there about pre-officer days and
and after this airs, they can feel free to. It can be like one of those. I don't know if you watch Neil deGrasse Tyson. He does Cosmic Queries.
he's awesome.
So they send in questions for
okay.
him to answer about
Oh, by all means, if you got
entertainment.
questions for Anthony,
We can do. I don't know. We'd have to come up with a name for it, but like they
Yeah,
send in questions about law enforcement, and I can answer it the best that I can.
Sure. Yeah, if you're open to that, I'll gladly make this a resource for that. Yeah, if you have questions for Anthony, send them in. Also, do you have any places that people can follow you, or do you do any of that kind of stuff?
I don't. In retirement, I guess I'm pretty private, so I'm not one to do that.
How about your kids?
My
Promote your son because he's both of them. Are talented in their own ways.
Yeah, so my oldest, he's not on social media. He more is for himself, but he's a
Oh, okay.
brilliant musician,
But your younger
guitar
one.
player. So amazing guitar player. Hopefully one day he'll be out there and someone can hear his music and his talent.
Sure.
My youngest, who's in middle school right now, he is an aspiring director. He does stop motions with Legos and Transformers.
Which is so cool.
And his page is called Lego Goomba. And he also created a second page, Lego Goomba 2. He does different things on both of them.
So go check those out for sure because that kid's got some skills, especially for being so young.
Maybe you can put a link.
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah, maybe you know what you should put in your younger son's head is maybe he should make some videos of your older son playing guitar.
Well, that would be good, but his specialty is stop motion. So
Yeah, I mean, doesn't mean he can't broaden his horizons.
Yeah, he's set in his ways right now.
Okay, well we'll figure it out. That's all semantics.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this has been another episode of Ordinary Joe's Extraordinary Stories. And Anthony, I want to thank you for coming and doing this again. And
Obviously, I'll be back.
I look forward to part 2 for sure.
Well, technically, this is part 2, but
I look forward to part 3. We broke part 1 into. Listen, part 1 wasn't enough, so we broke it into 2. That's what this is, the redo of 1. So, all right, guys, come back next week. We'll see you for another one. And yeah, thanks, Anthony.
All right.
All right, bye-bye. All right.
No. All right. All right.
All right. Let's get to it.
But that was the scene where he's at the school getting the kids out, and so I'm coming up. I'm the line of cars evacuating, and he's running out with the kids to the bus, and then the bus goes, and then there's different scenes where the bus is taking off and I'm supposed to cut him off, and he comes and almost hits me,
Okay.
and it goes around. So
Can you see you?
probably not in those scenes, but in the scenes where I'm CHP,
Yeah.
you'll probably see me there.
Nice.
Yeah, I was doing a bunch of funny stuff. It was fun.
Bro, that shit is way fun.
Huge.
My nuts are huge. Sorry, dude, I stole your line.
Get a picture of your biceps.
You know what, Dave? You want to punch you in your neck?
And then she got my butt.
She grabbed your butt?
Yeah.
T&A?
There's a butt right there.
Oh, that's
T&A?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's an ass.
No, you're hurting, dude. You know.
You want to punch you in your neck?
When was the last time you had T&A?
Last time I had a chick.
All right. That's what I'm talking
Foggers. Whoa.
You guys are
Whoa. 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 I'm falling. I'm falling.
Did you know that Joey called me?
Get out of here! Ah! Yeah!
What's this? Hey.
Hello?
Check. You're recording. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is full.
This one's going out to women across America. No, I can't do that. Wait. I can't do that. I think I'm messing up. All right.
Takes a part of me, something lost and never seen. Every time I see me far from grace.
Filming myself. We're driving now. Woo! Driving. Woo!
Emma, love you! That tickles!
There's some tourists. Yell at them. Put it in your mouth. Eyes, baby. Do.
Stick out your tongue. More.
Don't worry about it neutral. Take a breath in and exhale. Perfect. Needles through. Keep your tongue out. Keep your tongue very straight and your face straight as we do this transfer. Don't worry. Chin. Excellent. 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 12.
Ready, 12?
Échale ganas, cabrones.
Here we go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Little ensemble they put together this morning, just for you. Thanks, guys. Here's a bit of a rattlesnake.